I had successfully joined the Montford Realm using the IP address the owner made public on YouTube. Since I'm a self-proclaimed Sith Lord with many supporters, I have to give this realm a villain, eventually. My plan to become the villain is to first talk to the owner and see if he can allow more people to join at a time, since the limit is 10 and I want my friends to join. Next, I gotta get as stacked as possible, as fast as possible. Basics would be diamond armor and tools with an elytra and fireworks for traveling, and finally, shulker boxes and ender chests for transporting my items. First, I gotta set up a temporary base where I can get stacked, and then I'll travel to an even further distance away from spawn to build my Sith temple and start my rule on the realm. This temporary base will also need to be far from spawn if I wanted to keep my items safe, so I decided to make it 10,000 blocks away. Since I had just joined and want to travel 10,000 blocks away, I need to get the basic materials. It's already day 90 on the realm, so I've missed out on quite a bit and am definitely behind other players. Because this is the case, I would probably be best if I tried to make friends with someone or a couple people on this realm. I know this doesn't seem like the actions of a Sith would take, but you have to think about the long run. If I can team up and manipulate a person who is somewhat stacked, then I could quickly advance my plans. This would also mean that I would eventually give whoever I made friends with an ultimatum once I became powerful enough. Join me or die. Now, normally I'm not the kind of person to do this to people, but like I said, this realm needs a villain eventually, and it makes good content. Now that I have all the materials I need to start, I should get some seeds so when I make it to where I want to go, I can immediately start a farm. I probably need some food too, like meat. Yeah, let's kill the sheep. Dang, okay, I suck at this. Alright, well, at least we got some meat, and yeah, let's try and get some seeds from here. So, come on, just give me, there we go. Okay, got some seeds. After traveling for a bit, I had found a cave. It looked plentiful too, but it was getting dark, and I do not want to risk anything yet. So, I'm gonna dig out a small base where I can cook my food and upgrade my tools. This seems like a good place to dig out. Like right about here or something. Okay, let's make sure I block this up real quick. Yeah, get the dirt. Oh, by the way, guys, I've got stick drift, and it is not fun. Alright, let's dig it out a bit more. Probably gonna do like a 3x3. Get the torch down. There we go. Okay, let's mine it just a bit more out. Almost there. This should be good for what I want to do. And then, alright, let's place the furnace. And then, get the fuel in there. And then, start cooking the meat. And let's, place the crafting table. There we go, and, yeah, let's start getting some stuff. Specifically wood for the fuel, obviously. Now we've got some food. Sweet. Well, looks like we'll just wait out the night, I guess, since I do not have enough wool to make a bed, unfortunately. It was finally day, and conveniently, someone else had joined the realm. Obviously, I had to start talking to him or her and postpone my mining trip to see their situation and if they were worth teaming up with. This wouldn't be the only person hopping on later. Well, let's hope they're stacked. Maybe I can meet up at their base or something. Actually, yeah, let's see if I can convince them to take me to their base. Let's try and seem all innocent and whatnot. Maybe that'll convince them. While I was talking to this player, I decided to go mining, which would almost turn out to be a bad decision. As I continued to talk to this player, I revealed to him that I'm a YouTuber. Turns out he was also a YouTuber. Anyways, later he revealed to me that he actually had a villager that's trading him mending. Now, personally, I think this might be useful, but I might just leave him alone for now and his base and just, make my own villager trading hall. But yeah, I ended up asking him if I could stay at his base to get situated. I also just want to know where his base is for any future references or ideas. He was pretty confused and hesitant on it, but I eventually convinced him to let me stay. He also told me that he has a mace. Obviously, I would be searching for that once I got there, but I also didn't care too much because I don't really know how to use the mace, nor do I want to bother with trying to learn. Now, I've started my journey, my 10,000 block journey, but first I want to make it to his base and see if I can get anything useful from there. I've been traveling for a while, and I've actually found some pretty good stuff. Came across a couple of shipwrecks and ruined nether portals. I did get some pretty good loot, and you'll see that eventually, but I also would like to say I have died a couple of times, and I'm actually going back to where I died, which was a shipwreck, because I just learned that the door trick in water doesn't work for Bedrock Edition. It's a Java Edition exclusive, which I think sucks, because that completely failed me, and it was very disappointing, as I was only just about 1,000 blocks away from his base. Anyways, as I was traveling, it became night, and as you guys know, night is dangerous, especially when you have nothing in your inventory. As I was traveling, a baby zombie, skeleton, and spider ended up chasing me through the forest, and luckily I was able to escape in the boat and get back to all my stuff and pick it back up. As you can see, the little spire over there, and it's wooden, and it's a shipwreck. That's where I died. So I'm actually just gonna set my bed there to make sure when I die again, if I do, I will be able to just respawn right by it and pick all my stuff back up without having to travel such a long distance again. As you can see, I've got a bunch of stuff, a lot of valuable stuff too. So, this is why I really don't want to die again. But yeah, his base coordinates are actually really close, only about 1,000 to 2,000 blocks away. So I'm just going to grab the stuff from the shipwreck and then hopefully get there by the end of the day or in the next 2 days. Now that I've set my spawn point here, I'm safe to go down and explore the shipwreck. So, let's see what we find. Dude, okay, this is good stuff. I'm gonna need those templates later on. Potatoes are nice. And, oh, there's a drowned. There's a drowned. Get out. Out. I'm dying. Dang it. Okay, well, like I said, there's a reason for why I set my spawn right here. Now I can just grab my stuff again, blah blah blah, and yeah, I'm just gonna do a time lapse of me going to his base now. Chipito sent his base coordinates one last time, said that he was leaving the realm. I guess this is in a way good for me because now he won't be able to catch me if I steal anything from him. But anyways, I wished him goodbye, good luck, and whatnot. Started heading over to his base. Little did I know, something unfortunate was gonna happen again. Just a bit further. Oh no. You gotta be kidding me. Oh, not again. I can't. To restart again? My stuff is gonna despawn. It's gonna despawn. I'm just gonna hope for the best, I guess. Expect the worst, hope for the best. Yep. This was definitely a bad situation for me, as I just died. I have no food, no resources, nothing, which means I might die of hunger unless I find some food soon. But honestly, that's not even that much of a high priority for me, as I just want to get back to my stuff and get through this night. I don't have a bed anymore and I'm the only one on the realm, which means I'm gonna have to survive the nights that it's gonna take for me to travel. Again, not good at all. After a while, I eventually made it to his base and started a little farm, and I also stole some stuff. But then I realized, nah, it's kind of trashy. Like, it was a village in a snow biome, which sucked. So I just ended up going off on my own and traveling. That's pretty much what I've been doing. But I ended up finding one of those jungle temples, which honestly was pretty good because I got some redstone from it. And, you know, it's got decent stuff. So I looted that and made my way on the 10,000 block journey again, as I would be wanting to get to the coordinates -10,000, -10,000. As I made my way through the realm, I ended up finding another village, which gave me some resources I desperately needed, along with some leather pouches, which could hold a lot of my stuff, expanding my inventory space. I got some more resources, like seeds and whatnot, that I could carry with me now, and it helped me a lot, as I would need all of this stuff for my temporary base at -10,000, -10,000. Another player ended up getting on the realm named Veiled Sky. He asked me about my situation, what I had, and I told him that I had iron armor. He assumed I had a full set. No, I only had boots and pants. He then wanted to fight me for my armor, which I quickly declined, as my excuse was, I'm traveling and I need to get to the coordinates I want to get to. Anyways, he then left me alone for the rest of the time, except for talking to each other occasionally. Not much though. Somehow I continued to get really lucky and find a lot more villages, or not a lot more, but a couple more villages and ruined portals and shipwrecks. Now I have no idea how in the world I'm getting this lucky, but I swear I'm not cheating. I don't cheat, alright? I'm not that type of guy. But basically, I just went to see what this village had, and it ended up having a brewing stand, I think, which I immediately took as I would need it for my future villager trading hall. I had finally made it to negative 10,000, although I'm not quite there yet. So hopefully, just maybe, there could be a bit of land that I could build on. Clearly there's not. And I would really like it if I didn't have my base on the ocean. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go exploring to see if there's any islands nearby that I could potentially build my base on. I ended up going to negative 10,100, negative 10,200. It ended up serving as the perfect place for a base, as it was a big island, big enough to give me enough resources that I need, and provide good housing and safety, protection from other players. There was also a ruined nether portal nearby, so I could go to the nether whenever I wanted. I landed at the island, grabbed my boat, and placed my bed, setting my respawn point, and finally giving me the satisfaction and sanctuary of having a home. I could now set up my base. If you liked this video and watched this far, consider liking and subscribing, as the story will get better and more interesting. I will be interacting with more people, and there will be a lot more fun things to expect from this.